Good morning. My name is Jeremy Backstrom. I'm the cardiac and pulmonary as well as the cardiac cath lab manager at the hospital. I do see some familiar faces that I actually consider family because you come one time to cardiac rehab and you're a visitor. Second time you come, we consider you family. And if you talk to anybody in this room, if you're in my family, raise your hand. Talk to any of them, they'll tell you, right? All right. So, got a few statistics I want to share with you about exercise, staying healthy, staying active. Cardiac rehabilitation reduces the risk of future cardiac event by stabilizing, slowing, or even reversing the progression of cardiovascular disease. So if you have plaque buildup in those arteries, exercise, we've seen the research where exercise can actually reverse some of that and help you in the long run. So it also is really good in diabetes management. So when you exercise and you've got diabetics, by the way, if I put a diabetic on the table in the cardiac cath lab, I can guarantee you they're going to have a blockage that needs to be fixed. And that's because increased amounts of glucose in the system causes more inflammation in those arteries. And when that inflammation is there, then the plaque or the cholesterol goes there to fix that inflammation. So the more inflammation you have, the more plaque is going to build up in there. So what happens in exercise is that that glucose, that extra glucose is flowing in your bloodstream is actually used at that point to fuel your muscles. And so we see a drastic drop in blood sugar levels over time, and some of those type 2 diabetics will actually get off their blood pressure medications. And so it's a very good thing for diabetics. So statistically, if you want to go to the next slide, Jennifer. Jennifer, can you go to the next slide? So cardiac rehab right now is woefully underused. Less than 20% of eligible patients participate. Only 12% of Medicare patients participate. And research has found that cardiac rehab reduces mortality rates by 50% compared to patients who do not participate. A while back, we were seeing where cardiac rehab departments were being closed down, cardiac rehab places. I mean, I talked to one of my colleagues today whose husband was in a cardiac rehab program down in Memphis, and he showed up one day and the doors were padlocked and it's closed down. So he had to actually drive on into Mississippi to find another cardiac rehab program because it was hard to prove that it was beneficial to patients. Now, the research is there. We have it, and so we're not closing our doors. We're remaining open because we know we're doing some good benefits for patients. It can reduce hospital readmissions for all causes, all diagnoses, by 25%. So those patients are less likely to go back into the hospital. For PCI patients specifically, PCI stands for percutaneous coronary intervention. That means if I'm going in and ballooning or angioplasting a blockage in your artery, or we're putting a stent in, that's what those patients are. It found a 45 to 47% decrease in all-cause mortality. So all diagnoses, 45 to 47%. That's really big. So men, I want to talk to you for a second because I don't have a lot of trouble getting women into cardiac rehab, but I have a lot of trouble getting men into cardiac rehab. And the reason is I hear men say, well, I walk 3 or 4 times a week, I do this and that, and I'm not going in there to exercise. Let me give you an example. I'm almost 40 years old. I'll walk the halls of that hospital. Stephanie was talking about it. You walk 8 miles. Walk it all the time. I thought I was in pretty good shape. We homeschool our 4 children, and the other day my wife and I were going through the books, and My son is in 7th grade, and he pulls out a book and he says, "Hey, here's PE." So I look in the PE book, and I looked at my wife and I said, "I guess I'm the PE teacher, right?" She's like, "Yep." So I look in there, and guess what he chooses to do as his PE curriculum? He wants to go running. So I said, "No problem, we can do that. I'm in shape. We'll go to State Park every day and we'll run because I have to document." So we started that this week. The first day, and I've got my run on there so I can tell how far I'm going, so I can not do more than I have to do. So we're walking along. I said, "Son, you got to do a 5-minute. We've got to do calisthenics." So we're doing our stretches, and then I said, then we've got to do a 5-minute warm up. Same thing we do kind of in cardiac rehab, 5-minute warm up. Get your body ready, get your muscles loose. So we do all that, and he says, "Dad," he's like a squirrel. He's 12 years old. He's like a squirrel all over the place. He's like, "Dad, when can we run? When can we run?" It's like, 5 minutes, son. "Can I run now?" No. And so finally, after that 5 minutes, we run. Jog, didn't run. He's running and getting ahead of me. I'm like, "Don't get too far ahead of me. Somebody might run over you. Stay back here." So I started to run. Well, very quickly, I got out of breath. And I said, "Oh, great." And he's like, I said, "Slow down, it's time to walk." "Dad, why are we walking? We're supposed to run." I was like, "We're walking." He said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I am 3 times your age, son." So, but as the week has gone along, yesterday we ran, and I was shocked that I could run further, and I could run up a hill. And my heart rate wasn't as high as it was on Monday. So I learned that it doesn't matter how active you are. What matters is that you're measuring that heart rate. And if your heart rate is getting at least 30 beats above what your resting heart rate is, then you're working the heart muscle. So that is what we're doing in cardiac rehab. We've got you connected to monitors. We know what your resting heart rate is, and then we want to get that at least 30 beats above your resting heart rate while you're exercising. Plus, we do a lot of education. Lots of education. A lot of people are like, "Well, I can sit there and another educational service." Yes, you do. Because that's a very important component to cardiac rehab, is to educate you on your body. So if you're interested in that, please talk to your doctor about it. And get them to make us a referral. We'll be glad to admit you. Right now, we actually have a very low census, so we're admitting patients right and left to try to get that census back up. So not only does it help heart, it also helps lungs. We've got the pulmonary rehab program as well. Some of our patients come in and we have them to set goals. We hear goals like, "I want to be able to walk to my mailbox and back." I hear women say, "I want to be able to wash dishes again. I want to be able to cook." Those are not unrealistic goals. I don't know that will be one of my goals, but to wash dishes, but you know, whatever. So just consider it. Talk to some of these people who have been through the cardiac rehab program. This Cardiac Rehab Alumni Association, those are people who have been through the program, who know that it works, who know that it helped them. And so they are committed to providing scholarships for patients who can't afford to go through. That's how much they believe in it. They take their time. I mean, these people have lots of things to do. They're retired, they could be vacationing, but they spend time raising money and raising money for the scholarships for these patients to come